Hello everyone, and today we have an absolute incredible video. We're going to look at the coronavirus, the COVID-19, and how it's impacting on your income and your general wealth. I want you to please like and subscribe this video, and now let's look. First thing I want to look at, what is the coronavirus? Well, the coronavirus is actually a family of viruses. And unfortunately it affects humans and animals. The strain we're looking at currently, because it is everywhere in the news, is the COVID-19, which originated in Wuhan, China, as early as December of 19. So 3 months ago this was undiscovered, and since then it has traveled worldwide. We're seeing it in almost every European country, and it also reached the United States of America. Why is this important? Because it's affecting everything. It's affecting travel, it's affecting global stock markets, it's affecting people's general well-being, which is the most important. A lot of people have died from this virus, and on a daily basis more and more people are becoming infected. So we need to look at everything to do with this virus, and is our finances safe? Because that's something we really need to consider and look at this time. Now, first thing I want to look at is, you'll see this diagram now. If you see, this is a list of prior virus outbreaks. You'll see month 1, you'll see month 3 and month 6. Now we're looking at these prior viruses because we can get an indication of what this COVID-19's impact will be. It's always good to look at prior history because generally history repeats. So if we look here, if you see the average in bold there on month 1, you can see that month 1 the growth rate is a lot lower than month 3 and month 6. Now you're probably wondering, why is that? That's because that's when the initial outbreak is, and news articles are coming out left, right and centre. The World Health Organization don't quite understand it. That's causing uncertainty. Local governments, local countries are struggling to react, struggling to cope. Travel is restricted because nobody really knows anything about it yet. And this is causing fear. And when there's fear in the stock markets. When fear makes people sell, they sell off. And this is exactly why we are seeing 10% down on all global stock markets, and $5 trillion estimated has been wiped off as a result of the coronavirus COVID-19. So as you can see from that diagram, when the prior viruses, the month comes out, markets drop, but in month 3, month 6 and onwards, the markets recover when they understand that the virus outbreak, it's not as bad as it was initially circulated. There's a vaccine, or there's a cure, or it's generally just not as bad. So that's why you see markets react in that fashion. Next, we're going to look at your wealth and your money, and how does this affect you? Well, if you listen to what we said there, investments, your investment portfolio is probably down at the minute, but believe it or not, this is actually a great time for you to look and revisit your investment portfolio. Because if you're losing sleep over by how much investments you've gone down as a result of this virus outbreak, that generally means that you have chosen a wrong risk assessment for your portfolio. So the portfolio you have doesn't satisfy your risk assessment. So you really need to reconsider your investment portfolio, and you being on this video, watching this video, could be an indication of that also. So you need to revisit. A tip I'll give you is, if your investments are for your retirement fund, if they're for 10, 20, 30, 40 years down the line, something that's happening today, such as this virus outbreak, shouldn't be giving you nightmares. You shouldn't be like, oh no, my investments are down, because these are called market cycles. Market cycles result in upwards and downwards trends. Your value of portfolios go up and down all the time, and within that 10, 20, 30, 40 years to your retirement. So this is just a market cycle. Now, if you were of the opinion that the world is going to end, and this coronavirus is going to be a lot more devastating than a lot of people think it is, well, then you should definitely take out your investments or reinvest to a much safer position, because that'd be your personal opinion. Now, what we're also going to look at is savings and why it's important to save. As you can see, now is a great time if you had savings. Say if this virus became a pandemic, if more schools closed down, schools globally closed down, it was in every country, they couldn't handle it, companies had to close down, that would mean that your job would be at risk. More than likely temporarily, but maybe permanently. And if that was the case, that would mean you'd have to look to your savings, to what value you have, where you could pay for bottles of water, you could pay for food in your supermarket. So these are things that where savings usually comes brilliantly, and that's why they always say it's good to save. You should generally look to save 10 to 20% of your monthly income. If you can do that, that gives you a safe zone. And then you could use savings in a time like if it happened where you lost your job, or if this virus suddenly got really bad, that all these facilities, schools and everything shut down and no one was on the streets. You could quickly go to the supermarket, you could buy what was left of bottles of water, of food, and you could see what happened from there. Also, I want to look at, is now a good time to make purchases? So if you were going to maybe start a college course and you had the fee was due, or if you're going to purchase a house, is now a good time? Generally, when there's a virus outbreak like this, interest rates, there's a big chance interest rates can be cut. That's because nobody is generally looking for a loan. So if you're looking to purchase a house, now could be a good time. Just you need to watch out though that they are cutting interest rates, or if there's any other mortgage offers on at the minute, you need to have a look at that. But it is usually a good time and prices could be lower. Another thing what I'd say to you is, if you're looking at a college course and you're thinking these social gatherings of people could be cancelled, you could see that the deadline for these invoices that need to be paid for your college course are usually extended, or the course might be pushed down a bit down the line, so you're better off ringing just to confirm that, and then you can make your decision then. Now, I want to look at your income. So your income from your job, could this be affected? Well, it could be affected. It depends where you work. If you worked on a travel airline, for example, if you're a pilot, flights could be cancelled. There could be restrictions on the countries that are traveling to, which will reduce flights, which means you may not be needed in your job role for a period of time. So you could be temporarily laid off, for example. Also, if the virus is spread to your town, to your city, that would probably your company would be closed down temporarily. You may not have income for that period of time. So there is ways it can affect jobs. You'll also notice could affect social gatherings you go to. If you go to casinos regularly, or poker tournaments, or soccer games, anything where there's a lot of social gathering of individuals, restrictions will be in place there, and you'll see if it got worse and worse, they'd be completely cancelled. So these are ways where it could affect you in different aspects of your life. But in terms of money and finance, you need to review what your goal is and how much savings you have at the minute, and ensure you continue to save. As if it does go more globally, if it goes into towns, cities, and more importantly where you live, you need to ensure that you just have that savings there, so you can afford to take a couple of days, a couple of weeks off your job and just stay in with your family, and you have enough food, you have enough water. They are vitally important obviously to our daily life, so you need to make sure you have everything there. And if you're worried now, you could also go to your local supermarket and stock up now. Get tin food, check the dates. Tin food is generally for a year or two, if not more. It could be okay, it will be okay. Then you could get stock up in bottles of water, and you could have everything sorted if you are worried. And like I said, if you're worried over your investments, just look, are you a short-term investor or a long-term investor? If you're a long-term, do not be worried. These are down the future line. There's no point being worried now. Short-term, You may need to look at your investment portfolio, move to safer investments, discuss with your financial advisor what's the best appropriate strategy for you if you are not getting sleep over your current investment. Okay guys, hope this video helped you, and please like and subscribe. I'm going to be bringing out loads of future content on creating wealth, generating more sources of incomes, how we can save appropriately, how we can budget, and on investments. Thanks very much guys, take care now.